Here's a list of common Burndown Chart Anti-patterns, which I've developed with help from ChatGPT. These patterns can signal deeper issues with team performance, process compliance, or estimation. I've put it together with a lot of help from ChatGPT. I need to make that clear up front because this video is something of an experiment. The first video that I've actually used ChatGPT to generate real content, which I've then gone away and reviewed and checked. In addition, we've created notes on what each anti-pattern signals and ways to address the underlying problem. There are 7 anti-patterns in this video. Number 1, flat line at the top. This, of course, means that no progress is achieved in the first days of the sprint, although it doesn't mean that no work is being carried out. Causes include over-planning or a long ramp-up at the sprint start. This could be because tasks haven't been broken down and made small enough, or that work in progress limits have been ignored and with the team spread too thin. So, to fix it, encourage pulling in smaller, more clearly defined tasks from the backlog. To do this, you need to revisit the quality of the work that's been done to refine the backlog, and possibly refine it further. Number 2, a steep drop at the end. This means work is being marked as completed or at the end of the sprint. It could be because of a last-minute rush to get work done, sometimes referred to as waterfall behaviour in a derogatory way. It could mean that testing, review and deployment has been left to the end of the sprint, rather than test-driven development where the tests and the reviews and the deployment happen iteratively throughout the sprint. Or it could be because the definition of done is weak or is not being followed properly throughout the sprint. So, to fix it, we need to make sure that we integrate testing and review throughout the sprint, that we have a clear definition of done for each component, and that we maintain a steady cadence throughout the sprint, getting off to a good start early on and keeping the pace going. Number 3, a zig-zag pattern. This means that estimates of effort are fluctuating wildly, maybe because work is being marked as done, and then unmarked as done because it needs further work. The primary cause for this is likely to be inconsistent work updates, or maybe tasks are being reopened frequently, possibly because of a frequent need for rework. The fix for this is first of all to encourage consistent daily updates and to be, to a degree, critical in your assessment of what you're being told. If a lot of rework is happening, you'll need to be discussing that in retrospectives to see why that's happening and what you can do to prevent it. And of course, you may need to reassess estimates for future sprints and reconsider your sizing parameters and the way you go about using them. Number 4, flat line at the bottom. This means that all work has been marked as completed early, and then there is a period at the end of the sprint where nothing happens because there's nothing left to do. The obvious cause for this was that work has been underestimated and therefore completed early. In association with this, after the early finish, no new work is pulled through to get ahead during this sprint. An underlying cause for this may be deliberate underestimation. This artificial undercommitment may be to help make the team look good by finishing early. The 2 main levers for fixing this are reviewing your velocity constantly and acting on what you find, and of course, addressing the underestimation by improving the estimating process. Learn from the velocities that you've been achieving. You also need to encourage pulling new backlog items into a sprint as soon as it's clear that you are going to finish early. And as an underlying cultural thing, you need to look at the psychological safety. Does the team feel safe in making aggressive, stretching goals in its estimation? Goals that are achievable, but will require them to work well as a team. Number 5, constantly over the ideal line. This means that the team is constantly behind the ideal pace. The causes of this are usually underlying estimation issues. There's been an overcommitment due to an underestimation. This may be poor estimation or a deliberate strategy in some way. However, there may be nothing wrong with the estimates. There may have just been some unanticipated blockers or interruptions to the team and its progress. As a result, your retrospective will need to focus on the team's capacity, its estimation and its planning, and also understanding the events that may have contributed to the delays. If there are recurring impediments or blockers, then track them and find ways to remove them systemically. Ultimately, you may need to revisit your story pointing and estimation. Number 6, not updating the chart daily. If this happens, the chart will quickly become outdated and useless. This can happen if the manual task of updating the chart becomes burdensome, or if nobody takes responsibility to do it, particularly if a Scrum Master is away and no one on the team takes on the task. This will happen if there is no shared ownership of the board or the tool in general. But it can also happen if the team sees no value in the burn chart. The best fix for this is, if possible, to automate it as much as you can, using tools like Jira or Trello or Azure DevOps. But you also need to emphasize the value of the tool in creating transparency, in helping the team to succeed, and therefore to create the ownership that you need from the team. And to reinforce this, make updating the chart a part of the daily routine in your morning stand-up or your daily scrum. Number 7, tracking of tasks instead of value. When a team tracks tasks and subtasks, or even hours, it can lose sight of the value of what it is delivering. This is a result of focusing on pure activity rather than on outcomes. That may come from a poor definition of done, or from a confusion between progress and completion. The best way to fix this is to align your burn down tracking with completion of backlog items. Emphasize the customer's or user's perspective and the delivery of value to them, and ensure that your definition of done includes criteria relating to the shippability of what you're creating. Burndown charts are a good tool to use because they highlight a range of problems, and we have seen 7 such issues in this video. My thanks to ChatGPT for the assistance it's given me in creating this video, and I hope it has been of value to you. So please do give a thumbs up if you've enjoyed or learned from this video. I'll be creating loads more great project management videos for you, and sometimes with help from ChatGPT. So please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any. And I'll see you in the next one.